right, fool. Shit. Let it be known then. Circle tight.
Is that Snoop?
That's Snoop.
Yeah, that's Snoop, right? What album?
Last Meal.
Is it on the last meal?
Yes, sir. It's the last song of the album.
You want to know what?
Chicken butt.
No, Chicken Thigh. The Last Meal is my favorite album from Snoop.
For sure. It was the top album, I think, too.
The top album from him?
From him, yeah, from Snoop.
I mean, Doggy Style, though, is still pretty classic, bro.
Yeah, but that shit, I play the whole shit. There's probably like one song out of the Last Meal that I'm just kind of like, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But from the beginning to the end, it's pretty.
Okay, Last Meal or Doggy Style?
Last Meal.
Or Last Meal or The Game Is To Be Sold, Not To Be Told?
Last Meal.
Do you like that album?
Last Meal?
No, The Game Is To Be Sold, Not To Be Told.
That's when he was with Master P on.
Well, The Last Meal is too. That's why it's called The Last Meal. Because that's his last album with No Limit.
Right. Oh, yeah, that album was just sick. That's when he brought out, like, the East Siders more, you know, like, all that shit was just more.
That was the first shit Dre produced for since he had went to No Limit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because Dre didn't produce none on any of those No Limit except for You Better Lay Low and like a bunch of those songs.
Oh shit, yeah, that's the album, man.
Yeah, because all the The Game Is To Be Sold, it has that like whoop motherfucker, whoop motherfucker, whoop motherfucker.
I like Snoops Upside Your Head from the album, and you know, probably maybe like one more song.
Snoops Upside Your Head.
Snoops Upside Your Head.
Is that on the Last Meal?
Is it? No, not Last Meal. On the other one you said.
The Game Is To Be Sold, Not To Be Told. Yeah.
Or it might even be on Dogfather actually.
Because there's Top Dog, The Game Is To Be Sold, and The Last Meal.
Yeah,
those are No Limit. Those are No Limit albums.
Right.
That's when he went over there. But that was the best thing he could have ever done.
Yeah, that was tight.
Hey, but I mean the one is like sexual seduction.
That was a documentary.
Is that what it's called? Hey, that album was kind of tight, man. And with the Pharrell and shit like that, like, I mean, that's when you got to play around though. Now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, I don't gotta be hardcore no more.
No, Snoop's sick. Yeah, he's very underrated. You know, I don't know why.
No, I don't know about underrated.
No, you don't. Because like, you know, you hear like rap lists. Snoop's never really up there. You know what I mean? Even like top 10 people are like, he gets left out.
That's because he's a living legend.
Oh right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got all these other fools on the list. I understand, but okay, I know what you mean by underrated. I was thinking you were speaking on his lyrics. His lyrics are kind of trash, but they're just funky and you know what I mean. And they're like, and they're grooving, and he's like Snoop, dog. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 into the 4.
But I guess he loses credibility because Jay-Z wrote a lot of shit for them, the Chronic and all that type of shit. He had a lot of writers, so it kind of.
I mean, but we all know that Eazy-E, MC Ren, and fucking those fools wrote all his rhymes.
Right. And he's not considered a lyricist, you know?
Oh, yeah, but you're like, I like Eazy-E.
Yeah. He's cool. He's dope. Yeah, he changed the whole game, obviously, you know?
Oh, that was a good topic. That he's West Coast gangster rap.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And that gangster rap is just way different than the East Coast lyrical
raps, yeah.
Perspective, yeah. I mean, we were just talking about this, me and Jerm. Like Big L, fucking just all the East Coast rappers.
Yeah.
I listen to more East Coast, to be honest with you. Like growing up.
Yeah.
Like, did you bump like Mac 10 and West Side Connection and all that shit?
Sure.
More than like Wu-Tang.
Maybe not Wu-Tang, but I didn't bump a lot of DMX. Maybe just like that Blood album, the red one.
Oh, well, the first album is Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah, maybe just that one, and then like and like Wu-Tang for sure, Nas. But other than that, that's about it. Like, I didn't bump no Biggie and that shit. Even I know Biggie was hard, but I never bumped it. It was like...
Right. I mean, Biggie was cool, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, you brought up a point a while back when we kind of spoke on that subject or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know what, man? I'm gonna... And I picked Pac.
Right.
Like, I would pick Pac over... almost everybody, to be honest with you.
Like top New York rapper, I say is 50.
Uh,
50 and Nas are like,
I don't like Nas, so I mean, it's not that I don't like Nas, it's that I don't see it like that.
yeah.
I really don't. I don't see it like that.
Nah, not to say, but 50, like for sure, that fool's just top, dog. Like his album, Get Rich or Trying, is my top three albums. One of my top three albums.
Oh well, I mean the Massacre. I actually like the Massacre better.
It's
I
just
like the Massacre better, dog.
full sick. Changed the whole game. It was real, really from the streets. Really was beefing. We went with the highest ranked foods, going at it with Supreme and all these foods that were top G's in fucking New York. These foods just
Yeah, I don't even. Who
Stunning
is
on
that fool,
everybody.
though, dog? Like, who
he's
is
just a
Supreme?
street drug dealer from back in the day. But that's why we don't know because we're not in New York. You're more
Right,
West
right, right.
Coast. But he's
I think
definitely-
50's dope because he's gangster. You're right, and he's about that. He's like, what? I'm with all that. I'm
And
with
he
all
had
the
bars.
shit.
He had raps. He was tight.
Uh,
He never
their
used
bars,
M.
Would like say his name,
Like for having access to Eminem, he didn't ever like, hey, write me some shit. Like.
bro? He's like on the Massacre album. He's like on like 5 or 6 songs.
No, yeah, but writing his raps, I mean.
I never understood that. Like, how do I write your raps?
So
That's
it's
like
we're
me
chill-
drawing. That's like me drawing your piece, and then you go piece it up.
Yeah.
That's
That's
whack. Like, bro,
exactly like that. That's a
that-
good one. I like that.
That's super whack, bro.
That's like me drawing your piece and then you go bust it. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand giving the homie, like, oh, look, check this one out, homie. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
try to go more in this direction or whatever. Like, trying to give them style or whatnot until they
Right.
till they find their own. But yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you wrote those raps, dog. Let me say them, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cruising through the hood in my 6'4", jacking the bitches like that wasn't his rap,
Right.
right? I mean, I do think he wrote a couple songs like after he started doing it. He was like, hold on, I'm feeling this,
Right.
and a couple of verses were his.
But I'm sure that fool was really doing it and was able to let Ice Cube see it and say it. Like, all right, I see you doing this. I'm going to talk about that,
Hold on, say that again.
He was really living the life. So like when he was talking about cruising down the street in 6'4", he was really cruising down the street where Ice Cube was able to be like, that's something that you should talk about.
Right. Okay, I get what you're saying. But I think Ice Cube is just he's an actual writer, bro. He has like the capability to write. Like, didn't he write like Are We There Yet? Friday?
Yeah.
Like all these movies, and those are movies and shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that was I mean, he turned out to be. I mean, he was a thug though. He did run up in that fool's office, didn't he? And hey, pay me, homie, pay me right now.
Yeah. But that was like very educated too,
Right. But he wasn't from no neighborhood.
Nah.
Or that's how the movie kind of depicted it. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
he never banged, yeah.
Right.
That's why he picked up Mac 10 and fucking what the fuck, Mac 10 and Dub C, so they they represent both sides, and he was always like in the black and gray colors,
Oh, because that's why they say the gangster, the killer, and the dope dealer.
Yeah, he's the mutual,
Oh, which one is he?
He's the mutual. He's the gangster, right?
No, I don't think so.
No, I mean he's a gangster because Mac 10 was really killing and
Mac
Dub
10's
C was really dope dealing,
No, Mac 10's the dope dealer.
Yeah, it's the other way.
Yeah, he has the album, The Recipe.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he in the streets, he was really known for his shit. Like he was really doing things.
I don't know about all that. I was
Yeah.
thought, like most of the things that he would rap about would be more about the drug dealing. You know what I'm saying? To
Right.
me, and Dub C would be like, I'm straight clown and we got thousands still out banging these streets.
Yeah.
Players getting jacked from thinking I'm whack, but y'all can't see also. Nah, it's not. I used to bump Dub C for sure.
Yeah, Dubsy's hard.
Yeah. So there's gangster, the killer, and the dope dealer. Would you know like the difference between, or do you think there's a difference between a banger and someone who bangs?
Yeah.
Or let me say that a gangster and a gang banger.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a difference. Like I think a gang banger is a fool's out there more recklessly and like, just like, and like a gangbanger or a gangster is a gangster. He's more smooth, laid back, smart about his moves. You know what I mean? He's not just really kind of. I think that's the difference. He has a different mindset. He's trying to feed the streets, not trying to protect the streets. You know what I mean? I think a gangster is a different category.
Yeah.
Same, but different.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you basically said it right. You know what I'm saying? Because like that gangbanger fool, like he active. He's like, hey, homie, where you from, dog?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you know where you at? Or what you got on my 40? Or you know what I mean? Shit
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
in the hood posted, running around.
Right. He's active all the way. You
Yeah.
know, oh, that's the homie right there. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind him.
Right.
Like and then just that gangster fool is just like has a mentality of being cool, calm, collective. Some shit pops off, he keeps his mind, you know what I mean, level headed, and he's
Right.
able to jump into that or whatever. You know what I mean, like, and be gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well. All right. Hey man, you a motherfucking we. You a smart motherfucker today.
I'm
Spell
stoned. That's why.
spell keto acid,
ACID.
keto acid osiris or whatever. I don't even know how to say it anymore.
Spell it. That should be funny though. Like
Right?
when I be on like doing the edits and you're like spell it.
Catch him off guard, huh, my boy?
Yeah.
Damn,
I
why
could
did
say
go-
that shit, but I can't spell that shit.
Why's that video off? All right, well, graph shit. If you're a girl writer and you start dissing and hating, you could either I'm gonna bring my homegirl or you're gonna have to bring your homie,
Mm.
and we'll talk it out. You know what I mean? Hug each other to death, and um, the graph game's crazy. Graph over everything, I guess, right? Gotta respect it. Well, with all that being said, bro, there's all types of bigger problems that are way bigger than the problems that we're even talking about. The ones we're talking about are like secret society. Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn about?
It's like Blade.
Right, it's just like Blade, my boy. Just like Blade.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on right now, though, in the government and politics and all that type of stuff and financial system. Like, it's going wild right now. All the brick stuff is just, it's insane. And it's questionable. Like, what's gonna happen? You know, like sometimes I wish I was educated enough to know what happens. You know, I guess maybe if I read a book, history repeats itself, and it'll probably give me a better idea. You know, of what the outcome might be. Because, you know, it's like, is the dollar really going to collapse that low? Like, what happens when the dollar collapses or whatever? You know, like, what happens when nobody's paying with our money and our money just becomes paper?
Okay, well, I think you need to break that down a little bit more, my friend, because, like, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
The world's going crazy. All these things are happening, and then you started kind of talking about the dollar, which I want people to understand. Like, not fully what's going on because you know exactly what's going on,
Right.
but there's a shift happening
Yeah.
in the world. And what'd you call it? The dollar or the? Did you call it out? Brick already?
BRICS, yeah. Well, BRICS is just like the acronyms for the people and places. Pretty
That
much.
are part of, or the founding fathers of what they're gonna try to do. This power play they're gonna try to make.
Right.
I mean, that's what I guess I would call it, a power play.
So pretty much BRICS is going to be like another NATO, but a different area, and it's pretty much consists of BRICS, BRICKS, RICS, and it's, you know, Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and South Africa, and they're all like kind of uniting to make this one kind of currency that is not going to be backed by the U.S. dollar anymore.
Damn. Okay. So what does that mean? Like, does that mean, so that devalues our
money? Yeah, because before, like, cause our the U.S. dollars used to be backed by gold back in the day, but at a certain when Nixon was in office, he made a law where you didn't have to have your money backed by gold, and you could just
Can you
kind of
look that
give
up?
out and use as much money as you wanted to, without having to have the actual assets of it. You know.
And that was Nixon.
Yeah, but our dollar still had value because at the time we were using oil as the gold currency. But now that we're not gonna have access with the oil over there in Saudi Arabia and all that stuff, our money's just useless. You know, it's 'cause like, why are we gonna use your dollar? Like, you know, it's like the way we see a peso. We're just kind of like, oh, cool, I guess. You know, this shit is half or not even, you know, a quarter of what what my actual dollar's worth. You know, to us it means nothing. You know.
Nixon gold standard. Nixon convertibility. No, that's not what we're talking about. Standard 1971, right? Is that around the time? Because that's
Right.
around when Nixon was in office, right? Okay,
Yeah.
August 15th, 1971, to be exact. This is the date President Nixon killed the last remnants of the gold standard.
Oh.
Since then, the dollar has been a pure flat currency. This allows the feds to print as many dollars as it pleases and without the discipline imposed by some form of gold standard. It does precisely that. President Nixon completes the break free gold standard by hold on, sorry bro, my eyes are fucked. Break from the gold standard by ending convertibility of the United States dollar into gold by foreign investors as part of the Nixon shock to reform the flagging U.S. Economy.
Yeah.
What do they mean by flagging? Like the falling,
Yeah, like it's just
the failing, or like okay, so our dollar wasn't worth crap. So when he did that, he allowed banks to just say, okay, we can just come up with this money.
Yeah, like, oh, how much you need? Sure, and it's not real value. It's because it's not really something that's backing up that money. It's like if I would like try to buy a sack, and I get to the point where the guy's just giving me the tree. I don't have to give him money no more because the money's not worth any tree.
Bad example.
No.
Bad example, dog. Bad example, dog.
It sounded good in my head.
Yeah,
but,
it sounded good, dog. It sounded good, dog. So basically, back in the day, I think where it all started though was kind of like where the Knights Templar or like one of those groups.
Mhm.
When people would travel, they would say, "Okay, give us your gold. We'll give you a receipt or a paper, and when you get to the destination, you meet up with my people over there, and you'll give them the receipt, and then we'll give you your gold
Currency,
back or
correct.
currency or whatever it was,
Right.
right? That way, people could travel safely
Yeah.
because there was regulators.
And now they're just giving away the money without actually having to take in the gold.
right.
So it's kind of like they're just giving out free money, but there's not really money to back that up or gold to back up that money.
Correct, because they created some loophole, and I actually think that was probably now reading this. I think it was probably created to avoid having to give back China or pay back that debt in some way,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Because now I don't need to borrow from you anymore because I'll just come up with my own currency.
Right.
And so now they're taking they go, oh, see how long it took them to catch up to that little loophole though.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what, we'll get these other countries to sign up with us or whatever, and we'll create our own currency.
Yeah, but they're doing that now because we've been going over there and just jacking everybody that we can. We went and bullied all these little countries, and we're like, you're gonna go based off of our money, our currency, and this is that.
Do you call that bullying?
I mean, yeah, the way we did it, hell yeah, bro. We literally set in the military, was set in a guerrilla, what was it, people that to rebel against the government, and then
Well, I think they were already rebelling. I think we just
Trained them.
took advantage of the moment.
Yeah, we trained them, we gave them weapons, and we're like, yeah, go, get rid of Gaddafi, go get rid of these people, you know what I mean? And then after we take over, we put in our part, we put in our ways, and we're like, you're gonna do it like we do or how we want it. And then it just all falls apart, and now we kind of take over, and then we go to another place, and we're like, "Oh, your leader don't want to back us up. Well, we're gonna make radicals and have it radicalized against you guys, and then take him out of office, and then we're gonna put our person."
We'll create a new government.
Right.
I mean, yeah, in one aspect it could be bullying, but I see it as strategic. I see it as it's just the cost of war. It's the cost of our freedom. And I mean, not to say we're exactly free, right? But go anywhere else, dog. Anywhere else. And probably the only thing better there is their women. And the concept of they want to be wives or whatever, you know what I mean? But I mean, bro, you get locked up over there, bro. There's no like human rights type like things like that. Like you'll be stacked in the cell with like 50 motherfuckers, dog, who ain't took a shower in like 2 weeks, and you're taking shit and farting all right next to each other and just laying on top of each other. Like, bro, you would be like, oh my god, bro.
I've
Like-
been to Mexico. That shit was grimy.
In Salvador, did you see how they had them all running? Like they were like in their boxers, and like they were cuffed up.
Nah.
Yeah, cause they built like some new super prison in El Salvador.
Oh, where?
Yeah, recently they just rounded up a bunch of like head gang members, like hella fools, and they made a big prison for them, like a Guantanamo Bay type deal,
shit.
because they labeled them all like terrorists over
Yeah.
there. Finally, I guess.
That's wild.
Right, and they transferred all the prisoners to like this one mega prison, right?
Yeah.
But they had them all like in their boxers, or like their little little flip flops or whatever, like no shirt but cuffed up.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had to run down this like dock or whatever, a catwalk or whatever, and then they had to like huddle in, but they had them like in like the squatting kind of position, but like butted up right next to each other,
Damn.
like, and then your hands are behind your back, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean,
that-
county, we got to do that. In county, you got to get butt ass naked. And you got to sit on a bench, and there's another butt ass naked fool right in front of you. There's another butt ass naked person right in back of you. And you're just a whole line like that of fools on the bench getting processed and shit.
I mean,
And you're super close. It's super uncomfortable.
yeah, I feel
You're
you.
just like, well, fucking, we're getting processed.
Hey, you know what the COs, those buster assholes, what they be trying to do? Like you come back from a visit, or like you're transporting from here to there, or whatever the heck. They'll be like, all right, you got to do a strip down, right? So boom, you start stripping down or whatever, yeah. And then they'll be like, oh, lift them up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or bend over, squat, lift them up, lift up the balls, lift up the thing, or whatever. And then they'll be like, all right, put your fingers in your mouth and like open your mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rub your fingers through your gums and shit like that. Hey, homie, don't disrespect me, dog. Don't have me lift my balls and my wang, and then tell me to put my fingers in my mouth, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Open my butt cheeks.
Start from
and,
top.
and spread them. Like, no, homie, you ain't gonna do that shit, homie. Like,
Damn, that is foul.
homie, I fuck, and I see other fools fall victim to that shit, homie. I'll be like, you ain't right for that shit. Like, I'll be like, no, you ain't right.
That is fucked up.
I said, homie, don't ever let that fool do that again to you. Yeah. That happened to you?
No, well, I mean, I don't even remember. No,
Now that I'm thinking,
I think
about
they start from the front, and then you turn around, and then the last thing is the cough and shit. Bend over, spread your ass, and cough or whatever.
I mean, right, and you know what? They're not exactly doing it in this certain operation or whatever, just because it's just,
Right.
you know what I mean. But then they're like, if you don't catch it, they're telling you to put your fingers in your mouth after you just opened up the cheese.
Yeah.
And I heard those fools were beefing, dog.
The cheeks.
I said, who? Your butt cheeks? Yeah, you were supposed to. You were supposed to fall into that one, my boy. Bow, 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 bow. I know. Come on, dog. You're supposed to catch me when I fall, homie.
And then you know that fucking the BRICS too. Even like Mexico's starting to want to join that, and Saudi Arabia. There's like all these other countries that want to join them.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy.
Turn it on.
It's just crazy.
Hey, let's ask this question. What is it that they're not liking? Is that the right
They're trying to
question?
like they're trying to like move away from international, like when they're trying to move away from one country having like the superior currency type shit.
That's the start of
Well,
the New World Order, no?
Do you think that we have the superior currency
Had, yeah,
as of just because they're doing that right now?
yeah.
I don't think we've had it for the longest because euro is worth more than our money.
Sometimes, yeah.
No, not sometimes.
I don't
It-
think
it's
anymore.
been-
I think it just like started going decreasing recently. Yeah, like it is
all
probably a little
all
bit
those
more.
euro fools,
Uh-huh.
when they come out to the States, it's cheaper for them, like us going to Mexico.
Right.
But for us to go to euro and convert to euros, bro, you lose
Yeah,
big time.
but I don't think by much anymore. That is the dollar value
Okay, so how much more do you think
from the euro.
No, just from bricks or whatever. What do you think the homie strictly Denny's, homie, strictly Denny's. Do you see that for Willie?
No.
Apple Willie issues or whatever.
Oh yeah, on TikTok.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, that fool always be fucking posted chilling, dog.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he be getting the couch and shit. He be fucking like.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie right there, dog. He kicked some fool off the other day, dog. He's like, "Hey, homie, dog. Like, we don't get down with the the bagels, homie. We don't get down with bagels, homie."
Oh, word.
He's like, "Hey, you gotta go, dog." And
Yeah, he's funny though. He does. Yeah, he comes up with some shit.
You are